It was almost quitting time. The graveyard crew was making their way in. A holiday weekend was coming, and the bakery had taken on a big order from its largest customer, the kind of order that puts everyone on edge. Then a call came in for the dough divider on line 1. My shift partner answered it, experienced mechanic, 12 years in the baking industry. I was not worried. If the call needed more attention, we would hand it off to the graveyard crew. At least that was the plan. 30 minutes passed, and I had not seen my partner. Still not worried. Some calls take time. Then over the intercom I heard my name. The voice belonged to the production supervisor for the makeup area. His tone was not calm. I picked up my tools, told the graveyard maintenance crew I would handle this one and that they should focus on anything else that came in, and walked toward line 1. The supervisor met me before I reached the divider. The graveyard production crew had arrived to continue the big order, but they could not take over because the divider had been down for nearly 45 minutes, and then he told me what my partner was doing. He was replacing the entire safety circuit relay. Replacing a safety circuit relay is not a simple swap. This was a low-voltage programmable safety monitor, responsible for continuously tracking 4 keyed guard switches and 2 infrared safety curtains simultaneously. The safety curtains worked on optoelectronics, a transmitter bar sending an invisible infrared beam to a receiver bar, with the safety circuit interpreting an unbroken beam as all clear and an interrupted beam as a shutdown command. The keyed guard switches each had 2 LED indicators built into the housing, red for open circuit, green for closed. If the relay were replaced incorrectly or reprogrammed improperly, the divider would not run. We would be looking at another hour or 2 of downtime on top of what was already lost. I told the supervisor I would look at the situation before any replacement happened. When I reached my partner, he had the control panel open, his lockout and tagout secured on the power handle, the machine access door open, and a notepad filled with wiring references. He had already removed the wires from one side of the safety relay and was ready to pull the other side. I stopped him. I asked him how he had determined the relay was the fault, because if he was wrong, the consequences were significant. He told me he had done a visual inspection of all the machine guards and that all the safety switch LED indicators were green. I found that answer concerning. All green was correct, but all green told me the switches were powered. It did not tell me the circuit had continuity. Those are 2 different conditions. I asked him to humor me, rewire the relay back, and restore power so I could look at the system before we committed to replacement. He looked at me. "Really?" he said. I said, "Really." I felt the full weight of what I had just asked him to do. He had gone through all that work, and I was asking him to undo it, on my instinct alone. If I was wrong, I would owe him more than an apology. He rewired the relay using his notes and restored power. Then he stepped back and watched from a distance. I noticed immediately that the safety control relay was not activating despite all green switch indicators. I walked around the entire divider, every guard switch, both safety curtains, all confirmed green. Back at the panel, the relay was still dark. I powered down, applied my lockout and tagout, and pulled out my digital multimeter. Using the schematic attached to the inside of the panel door as my guide, I measured continuity at each point in the safety circuit. When I reached the rear cover switch, no continuity. The LED was green. The circuit was dead. I walked to the rear cover of the machine. From the outside, the switch looked completely normal. Green LED, sealed housing, nothing visibly wrong. I used my screwdriver to separate the switch mechanism from the wiring base. The moment I lifted it, water came out. Sanitation had done its job with water and cleaning chemicals, and the water had found its way into the wiring base. The internal contacts had corroded. Metal-to-metal contact was gone. No continuity. The safety relay was not broken. It never was. The relay was doing exactly what it was designed to do, refusing to activate a machine with an open safety circuit. I called my partner over. The production crew standing nearby came too. He looked at what I was holding. He was speechless. I have been in that position myself, and I knew exactly what he was feeling in that moment. I had mixed feelings, relief at finding the cause, discomfort at what finding it had cost him in front of the crew. My partner went to the parts inventory at a rapid pace. On the way, he passed the production supervisor, and I can only imagine what that conversation sounded like. When he returned, I had already removed the wiring base to speed up the replacement. New switch installed, cover secured, power restored. The safety control relay lit up immediately. Every indicator confirmed. I told the operator to start the divider. It ran without hesitation. By the time sanitation had cleaned the machine, quality control had inspected it, and production had set up the line. 2 hours had passed. The hot dog bun line began running to fill the order. My partner and I had been there 3 hours past the end of our shift. No one from supervision or management said a word to either of us before we left. I went home physically exhausted after nearly 12 hours on the job. The line was running, the order was going out. That was the acknowledgement. Every video on this channel is a real story from 40 years in commercial bakery maintenance, with the diagnostic thinking and the lesson that makes it useful beyond the specific situation. This one is about the difference between a status indicator and a circuit test. A green light tells you the power is on. It does not tell you the circuit works. Measure continuity before you replace components, especially in safety systems where the cost of an incorrect replacement is measured in hours, not minutes. If that is useful to your operation, subscribe. New content every week. Free field reference covering 25 equipment failure points. Link in the description. Your maintenance team can use it directly.